All right, let's talk about something every coder runs into. If you've ever found yourself typing the exact same lines of JavaScript again and again, well, this is for you. Today, we're going to unlock one of the most powerful tools in your entire coding toolkit, functions. Seriously, this is the key to writing smarter, not harder.
You know this feeling, right? That moment when you realize you've just written this same block of code for like the third time. It's more than just annoying. It's a big flashing sign that there's a much, much better way to be doing things.
And the good news, there absolutely is a more powerful way. Imagine you could just wrap up that repetitive code, give it a cool name, and then just call on it whenever you need it, from anywhere. Well, that's exactly what functions let you do. So yeah, let's call it what it is.
A superpower for your code. We're not just talking about getting organized here. We're talking about giving your code the ability to do complex jobs with just a single simple command. We're talking about functions.
So what is a function, really? The best analogy is a recipe. It's a self-contained block of instructions that does one specific thing. You write that recipe just one time, but you can use it to bake a cake or, run some code as many times as you want, forever. So why are functions such a big deal? Well, for starters, they help us with a principle called DRY, don't repeat yourself. This makes your code so much cleaner. Second, they're amazing for organization. Instead of one giant, scary file, you can break your program down into small, bite-sized pieces. And here's the kicker. You've already been using them. Every single time you've used alert function, you were calling a built-in JavaScript function.
Okay, to really start using these things, you just need to get two key actions down. Defining them, which is like writing out the recipe, and calling them, which is, actually baking the cake.
Defining a function is actually super simple. It's a basic formula. You just start with the keyword function, you give your function a unique name, you add a set of parentheses, we'll get to what goes in there in a minute, and then you wrap all your code inside a pair of curly braces. That's it.
Look, theory is fine, but the best way to learn is to just do it. So let's build our very first function right now. We'll keep it simple and call it say hello. And here it is. See? We have our function keyword, the name say hello, the parentheses and the curly braces, and inside our function has just one simple job. Pop up an alert that says hello there. It's the perfect, basic, reusable function. Okay, so we've written our recipe. Now what? How do we actually use it? Easy. We call it. And all you have to do is write its name, followed by those parentheses. Every time JavaScript sees say hello calling, it knows exactly what to do. It runs the code we defined inside. It's like telling the baker, hey, make that cake now. Our say hello function is pretty neat, but let's be real, it's a bit stiff. It does the exact same thing every single time. So let's level up and see how we can make our functions way more dynamic and powerful by adding something called parameters. Exactly. Hello there is a nice start, but what if we want to greet a specific person? Like, hello, Sarah. Our current function just can't do that. We need a way to pass information into the function to make it flexible. And that is where parameters come into play. A parameter is basically just a placeholder. Think of it like a variable. You list these placeholders inside the function's parentheses, and then when you call the function, you provide the real values. It's what makes our functions so adaptable. Just look at this side by side. On the left, our original rigid function. On the right, a way more flexible version. See the name and age parameters right there in the parentheses? Now we can pass any name and any age into our function, and it'll create a totally custom greeting. Now that is the power of parameters. So our functions are great at doing things, but what if we need them to give us something back? What if a function does a calculation and we need that result to use somewhere else in our code? Well, for that, we need the return statement. The return statement is how a function literally hands a value back to whatever part of the code called it. It's the function saying, okay, I did the math you asked for, and here's your answer. Let's think of it as a simple transaction. Imagine we have a function called square. We give it an input, in this case the number 5, by calling square 5. This is like putting your money into a vending machine. Now inside the function, our input, 5, gets assigned to that y parameter. The function does its job, it calculates y times y, and that return keyword, that's what kicks the result of that calculation back out of the function. And boom, the function returns the result, 25. Now this is the really important part. The function doesn't just show us the number, It gives it back. We can now grab that value, save it in a variable, use it in another calculation, whatever we want. That's what makes return so incredibly useful.
Okay, we have covered the absolute core concepts: defining functions, calling them, using parameters, and getting values back with return. So now for the fun part. Let's put it all together and build a simple, interactive dice game.
The idea is pretty simple. We're going to have a roll dice button on the screen. And when you click it, 4 dice are going to randomly change to show new numbers. And this is where the power of functions really, truly shines. Instead of one long, confusing script, we break the problem down. We'll have a start function to get the game ready. We'll have a roll dice function to handle the main action. And then we'll have one reusable set image function that can update any die we tell it to. See? By breaking it down, the code becomes so much easier to write, to read, and to fix if something goes wrong.
And that is the big secret, really. The most complex apps and websites you use every day, they're just a collection of simple, well-designed functions all working together. If you can master functions, you've mastered the art of building powerful, professional code.
So you now have this ability. You can create your own custom tools in JavaScript to build solutions for literally any problem you can think of. You've unlocked a true coding superpower. So the only real question left is, what are you going to create with it?